on the water, an adventure around this great brown land and beyond. We're going to have a look at vessels and watercraft, from manpower to wind power, and we'll even crank it up with horsepower. So strap on your life jacket and get set to get wet on the water. G'day and welcome to On the Water for the last show of this series. As always, we've got a cracker show lined up for you. We're going to chat to CEO of Rowing Victoria, Grant Cosgriff. We'll chat to Yachting Australia President Andrew Plimpton. We'll check me having a go at the various aspects of waterborne activities over the last two series. But coming up next, we're going to check out World Series water ski racing. So strap on your life jacket and get set to get wet.
Simon Isherwood, race marine, owner of the Merc Force machine. Mate, the Worlds, tell us all about that. What's led up to the Worlds and building this beautiful boat to compete in them?
Well, about 12 months ago, a group of us sat down, myself and Rod Bickerton from Force Boats, and decided that we should have a proper attempt at the World Water Ski Racing Championships, which are going to be held in Lake Rotorua in New Zealand in May this year. Basically, the boat was first put on the water in November last year, 2006, to compete in the first selection race that was held in Botany Bay, which was the first race for the boat and also basically its first outing in very, very tough conditions. The boat actually shone through right from the word go, from the fall of the starters flag right to the end of the weekend, where both Anne and Jason both won their first selection races. World selection races were made up of 7 for the men and 7 for the females in F1. We were lucky enough to win 13 out of the 14 selection races. Unfortunately, when you're developing a boat like this, you do have to try things, and we broke one of the golden rules and tried something on race day, and unfortunately we threw a blade off a propeller, which, while we were out in front in a commanding position, we actually had to pull into the centre of the infield to prevent any driveline damage or any engine damage, which was a great disappointment to all of us because we really wanted to go through the selection process undefeated. We also were lucky enough to have Chris Gell pick up a Australian Championship for us in under 24 men's, where very late notice, about 5 minutes before the start of that race, Stinger unfortunately broke down. And they rang us up and said, put the boat back in the water if you don't mind, which we did. And we started several minutes behind the rest of the field and actually won by about 30-something seconds, which was a very exciting end to the Australian Championships at Lake Jindabyne.
Got to say, Simon, that was the highlight of my ski racing year. That particular race was amazing. Chris coming from behind the big Merc Force machine to take it down was unbelievable. So what does it take to build a World Championship winning boat? Is this boat capable? Obviously it's gone through undefeated so far in the Australian Championships. What happens when it comes up against some international competition?
Well, the racing, Dave, is, as you would know, over 1 hour plus a lap for men's, and 45 minutes plus a lap for the ladies. So it's not all about outright speed. What we did do is concentrate on building a reliable boat that is certainly quick enough to match it with the top boats in each class, but also a boat that really looked after the skiers. So the boat's not the lightest boat in the world, but it's been purpose built. It's been built to be able to race in the roughest of conditions and also lay down the best wash for the skiers.
Hi, I'm Kevin Boylan, the observer, the Merc Force boat. I'm Greg Houston and I'm the driver of Merc Force.
Hi, I'm Anne Proctor and I'm the women's skier behind Merc Force.
And I'm Jason Wormsley, I'm the F1 men's skier for Team Merc Force.
Let's just go over this boat, the Merc Force machine. It's an F21 Force hull. It's built out of carbon fibre and Kevlar and glass. beautiful looking boat. It's got 20-degree dead rise, very, very good for the rough water. The other things that this boat has on it's a Mercury number 6 drive here. This drive transmits the power to the water through a Mercury Racing Cleaver propeller. Some other factors on this boat, we've got the K tabs here. These trim tabs are able to be adjusted up and down, side to side, so that the boat in a cross sea can be trimmed to jump off the waves in a level attitude and land perfectly. So it's got all that just to keep the skiers under control, throw down a nice wash for the skiers. The engine in this particular boat is a 1,075 horsepower big block Mercruiser with twin superchargers. Fuel injected, very, very powerful, makes around about 900 foot-pounds of torque and can propel this boat well up into the 120 mile an hour bracket.
The 15th IWSF World Water Ski Racing Championships for 2007 were held over 4 rounds in New Zealand, the North Island, 2 rounds on Lake Rotorua and 2 rounds on Lake Taupo. The first job for Merck Force was to tow Anne Proctor in the first of her 4 rounds of racing at Lake Rotorua. She picked up a first there, setting her up in good stead to go into the next 2 rounds on Lake Taupo, where she collected a first place and a second place. The second in extremely rough conditions on Lake Taupo in the 3rd round. The last round back at Lake Rotorua, Anne picking up another win. The next job for the big Merck Force machine was to tow Jason Ziggy Walmsley in the F1 men's event. This event sees skiers being towed for 1 hour plus 1 lap by these high-powered ski racing machines. The first round at Lake Rotorua saw a first place for the Merck Force team. Then moving down to rounds 2 and 3 at Lake Taupo, a first place and a second place in some extremely rough conditions. Back on Lake Rotorua saw some glass-like conditions and some big speeds, and Merck Force achieving a second position in the last round. So after 4 days of hard racing in various conditions up against the world's best, the Merck Force team of Anne Proctor and Jason Walmsley in F1 women's and F1 men's respectively accumulated enough points to bring them home a world championship each. Anne Proctor for the 4th time, 1 juniors and 3 women's. Jason Ziggy Walmsley, his first world championship. Was an outstanding effort by driver Greg Houston and observer Kevin Boylan. Also the team that put the boat on the water and made it all happen. Simon Isherwood, Ange and Dennis from Race Marine. Superb effort by all concerned.
Well, that's it for another week. We hope you've enjoyed the show. So whether you're hanging off the wire or winning in national titles or even sailing over the horizon, remember, a bad day on the water is better than a good day at work. See you next week.